Taylor Rock % off collector, and we're here with another Transformers unboxing and review. And today we're again going to the crossover series, this time with Target, with the Target Optimus Prime and Autobot Bullseye. I admit at first I wasn't going to get this basically because I already have two versions of Optimus Prime that looks like this, but they actually had a sale. I think it had to be through Target, and I think it was only like 35 bucks or something for it. And I was like, all right, for 35 bucks, especially the little Target dog, I was like, I'll pick it up. So let's quickly take a look at the packaging. Pretty cool, you know, bright red, white, all those Target colors. It matches, pretty well as far as the look for Transformers. I kind of like that, cool with Optimus playing with the dog. On the back, it shows you the steps, it shows you how he looks transformed, it shows you a little dog. I think that's pretty cool. And I don't mind having extra variations of this. So, without further ado, let's get this bad boy open and see what we see. Alright. We got the cardboard here. Don't need that. Let's get that in view. Let's see what else we have. Alright, so just basic stuff in here. We got the instructions and then the little paper that no one ever keeps. So let's see. Let's get this pan down a little bit. Alright, so this does have the, I was wondering if it had the little plastic on it, and it does. So I don't have the Ravage, but I don't have it right now to show you guys, but I basically have the Ravage that looks just like this. So it's the same thing, so you can see here basically, but I do like it. It's cool. You know, it's like when it transforms, it's kind of like that newer version, since they don't really do the cassettes unless they're doing like a retro version. But you can just see how the dog looks like that. And like I said, anyone that has like the old Ravage, the one that looks is basically the exact same mold as that. And then we have Optimus Prime itself. So let's free it. Little wires to cut, and then it just slides out. Look at that. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So I mean, I think just, of course, obviously being a semi truck, it lends to just being able to put all types of marketing on it. So, you know, really you could put anything and it could work, since, you know, he's a hauler, at least the G1 version. So, I mean, just looking at it, I mean, it looks cool just because of the color scheme and stuff like that. I love how it's still like the modern look as far as the truck and all that, the cab. And then the trailer basically looks just like what you would see for a trailer hauling pretty much anything. So I mean, I think, again, kind of like when I talked about Kit and Knight Rider, you know, the point is to kind of get kind of like the truck, like it's supposed to look like, oh, it's just a Target truck, and then, oh my goodness, look what it really is. So let's separate this, and I guess we'll start with the cab. So again, you know, the cab itself is basic, but it looks how it's supposed to look. Like, I like the smokestack, even though it's not smoke or whatever, but I like the way that looks. Black and red, white, that combination I always like. Do have the black windows there. The Target symbol is cool. Blacked out windows, so you can't see inside or anything. I do like the accents here on top. Underneath, I mean, you see the design that I'm talking about, and I'll show you the comparison too. Once I transform it to robot mode, I'll show you that comparison. But yeah, so basically, you know, you're not getting anything crazy, but I mean, even the regular Optimus Prime trailer mode isn't bad. Rolling is okay, definitely not as good as the Kit Knight Rider. That rolls a lot better. Speaking of which, let's get a couple of scale. So of course I'm just doing scale more for the cab, because obviously with the trailer it's much bigger, but you put it next to the Ecto 1 crossover, you can see it's like, that's kind of funny because Ecto 1's like, it's like technically bigger. Like, yeah, if you look at it, it's technically bigger. The cab here is a little bit higher than this, but I mean, look, even length, it's like a little bit longer. I think so. I think it's like just a little bit longer. See on the edges there than the Ecto 1. So I mean, it does scale a little bit strange, but not terrible. I still think that if you're displaying a bunch of these like that, it doesn't look terrible. Like I don't think it looks terrible. You guys tell me what you guys think. The other closest thing would be KITT itself. This I think really kind of makes it look like smaller because this seems so much big, and the Trans Am is a sports car, so obviously it's supposed to be smaller than a truck. So I think this is where the scaling really looks off even more than the Ecto 1. I admit I'm still new to exactly getting the scales. I know some people are like on it with the scaling, but you also have Party Wagon. Now that's crazy. I mean, look at that. I mean, that comparison between that is just crazy as far as the size comparison. And then of course you have the smaller ones. So you have the Stranger Things. And again, I mean, even though it's shorter, the length overall and the height is not that bad. But I think this kind of almost scales better because since this is small and the truck, that actually makes it look like it could fit better. Like if you see them parked next to each other, it's like it could work. And then of course you have the DeLorean. So see, I almost think that now, like when I did the Michael Knight, the KITT review, I said that the DeLorean looked weird next to KITT, but in this case it looks better next to Optimus just because the DeLorean is supposed to be smaller than the truck cab. And then finally you have the little Jeep from Jurassic Park. So obviously this one's pretty tiny, but again, height wise not too bad. But I think that actually is a halfway decent scaling. So you can see how that looks. So again, let's just look through it. I like the way it's done nice. It's really nice. I mean, obviously it's an existing mold. So I mean, if you're used to the other Optimus mold for this, then it's not going to be any surprise, but that's pretty cool. All right, so then we'll see the trailer. Again, very basic. It's light. Rolling, actually decent roll once it's on there. I think it's the front tire on the cab that is the strangest. But you know, obviously it's a cab, so it's not going to be anything crazy here. But the way the symbols, the dog, just the sculpt, the cut, all of that looks nice. I really like this design here at the back of the trailer. I think that looks really cool. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna use a little movie magic. And by the way, it didn't come with any weapons unless the weapons are inside here. So we'll see together with a little bit of movie magic in just a second. All right, and there we have the robot mode. And again, thanks to EMGO 316 for transforming it. It really wasn't that difficult. I did have a little problem with the arm because there's like a little, I guess, a peg that sticks out that clips. It looks like mine had a drop more plastic on it, but I just had to do a little cut to get that to go down. So just like you just see, I actually have this version and I have the other more traditional color version. So you can see what I'm talking about as far as the same mold. And it's like, I mean, I really love that Nemesis one. I always thought it was sweet, especially I like the blue accents and everything. But as I said, I love the red, black, and white. I think that looks cool. So you can obviously see some of the aesthetic differences between them, but you see it's pretty much the same mold, and it's like same thing like with the back. It's like pretty much the same thing. So I could see that maybe that's why some people are like, I already have two versions of this. Maybe I think there might even be a third one. Let me know in the comments. So you know that, and I also love the windows on this one better too. But still, this one again looks pretty sweet. I like the Autobot symbols. I do like the smoke windows that you still can kind of see through. you know, just the way they did the colors with everything, I actually think it works. On the head sculpt, of course, you got the rotation, not too much look down or up. Really, not really any up, more like just slightly down, but you can turn the head. And then as far as movement, basically because of this, the shoulder pads, you don't really get that much movement with the arms, but you know, you can get kind of some. But of course, when you move one, it's going to move the other, but it can rotate this around. You can turn at the waist, so that's cool. And then with the knees, you can bend and then rotate the arms and do that. Then do the full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Shout out to Captain Kyle. Of course, you got the feet here. You can do a little rockers with that. And overall, I think it's pretty sweet. And then of course you have the little doggy. And like I said, this is how the newer some of the newer Soundwave cassettes look. So this is the same way that Ravage I spoke about earlier looks when you transform it. So you have that. So let's look at the trailer. And one thing that I did forget to mention with the trailer was that you do have the drop down on the side here, these, so you can stand it up by itself. And then you can bring down the bottom here, and then you can pop this open here. So you don't have the little roller guy. I do like inside just how it looks, all like that sculpt, the technology type looking sculpt. And then of course you have the little turret here. And then this also doubles as his weapon. So you basically can take this off and give the weapon to him as well. And that's why it doesn't come with another weapon instead. So I think that overall, I think it's pretty sweet. Again, like I think it was like 60 something back in the day. Like I wouldn't pay 60 bucks for this, but I think sometimes I've seen it 39. I think that when I got mine, it was around 35. So I think that for 35 to 39, I think it's a good price. Especially if you don't have this sculpt already, then I think it's nice. If you just want to have more crossover, even though I guess it's not technically a crossover, because it's not like it's a, you know, it's going with Back to the Future, Ghostbusters. It's just branding, so maybe it's not a true crossover, but I think it's cool. And since I got on sale, you know me, percent off collector, I got that deal, so it doesn't bother me paying 35 bucks from this for Target. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, that's why I didn't even take this off to put it on as the weapon, because I didn't really like the way it looks. Look, I'll just show you. You see that? Like, it's okay, but you still see like the arms and all that. It's all right, but I'm like, you know what? I have the other weapons that came with this version, and I have so many different weapons for him that I'm like, bro, I don't need to do that. So doing this little cut insert, because there is one part that I forgot that is really pretty cool. So if you look at the chest here, you're able to actually lift this up here, and you can see the little matrix here. I don't think the matrix, oh no, the matrix does come out. So you can actually take the matrix out. I'm not gonna take it out, but oh, maybe I will. Yeah, so look at that. And it's a little red matrix of leadership. So I almost forgot that, and I thought it was so cool, and I almost forgot it because I was in a rush. So that is really cool that you're able to open up the chest and get the matrix out of the chest. And just in case you were wondering, it is the same thing on the Nemesis version. It's just a different color, which I do like the way that gem looks. So just, you know, that you can definitely get that matrix out of the chest, and it looks pretty sweet. Like I said, I think it's fine, especially if you get at that price. I would not pay any more than 40 bucks for this figure, definitely. So of course, if you like these reviews, you like the way I do things, please give me a like, sub, thumbs up, follow, you know, all that stuff they ask you to do. It helps me out. I'm still small time, I think around 500 something at the time of this recording. So we're trying to grow, and how we grow, not only on YouTube, but when we're going out buying stuff, we remember the phrase that pays: no discount, no deal, Catch you next time. All right, now transform because we got somebody coming to pick up some groceries.